Were you planning on getting an electric car? Now might be the best time. As the cost of a key component used in EV batteries comes down, the price of electric cars may start to become more affordable. According to industry analysts, as the supply of lithium ramps up, the price of battery manufacturers is predicted to come down. Tesla, we're looking at you. Let's find out more. First up, the rise and fall. If you didn't already know, lithium's super important and in demand these days. In addition to being utilized in EV batteries, lithium's also used in large and in-home solar batteries. As the switch to renewable energy continues, at a time when supply is still attempting to catch up, the market price of the mineral's raw ore has surged to about $6,000 US per ton. Lithium is currently in short supply, which isn't great news. Battery costs have increased by about 30% as a result of the price rises we experienced for lithium over the past year. However, many additional lithium mines are currently being constructed, particularly in Australia. A lot of new mines have been put into operation as a result of the high pricing and demand. So you've got all these miners chasing to strike gold, or lithium, first. We think that more lithium will soon enter the market, and demand for batteries won't pick up as rapidly as anticipated. As major economies like China struggle with an impending economic slowdown, Credit Suisse is one of the several companies that have recently cut down their price expectations for lithium. They now expect the spot price to decrease by 50% to $2,500 US, or $3,470 a ton by the end of the following year. Over the following 18 months, the market may potentially return to balance or perhaps be in a surplus. Credit Suisse isn't the only one to believe that lithium prices will decline. Apparently, many analysts think so too, as a number of big companies, including Bell Potter and Goldman Sachs, released updated projections on the price last week. Lithium miner equities on the Australian stock market fell steeply. According to news reports, Goldman Sachs predicts a sharp drop in lithium prices in the near future. The projection from the other organizations is less rosy, with its analysts predicting that prices will remain higher for longer due to the continued growth in demand for electric vehicles. On the flip side, the prediction is that lithium prices in China will continue to peak. Who's going to be right? We'll have to wait and see. Next, we have the consequences of falling prices. The Australian economy and mining-related taxes have been significantly impacted by falling prices. According to federal government predictions from March, they're now the largest exporter of lithium in the world, and production is predicted to increase within 4 years. One of the new mines currently under construction is Core Lithium. When lithium prices started to really take off at the end of last year, the ASX-listed business decided to move forward with the mine close to Darwin. It's believed that industry analysts overestimated the price decline predictions. For the foreseeable future, we anticipate a lack of supply or the introduction of new products, so don't get too excited about prices falling just yet. The mining project's viability was predicated on a long-term prediction that prices for the lithium ore that it sells to the market would decline to as little as $1,000. Manufacturers should be making stronger margins and selling into a generally favorable price situation as of now. And now, let's discuss affordable EVs. No miner could bank on a continuous boom, and those who are still working the ground needed to consider their long-term viability. Any pricing relief will help to reduce the cost of batteries in electric vehicles, which will help in the global adoption of electric vehicles. We think that this will ultimately have a beneficial impact on the trajectory towards the decarbonization targets and net zero by 2050, which many nations around the world have committed to. Additionally, we anticipate the decline in mineral prices will lower the cost of electric vehicles. Electric cars cost more than gasoline and diesel cars only because of the batteries. There's been a slight slowdown in the price decline, which was expected given the supply shortage of the minerals. However, as the capability for mining and refining those minerals has grown, we're now observing that prices are once more beginning to decline. As petrol prices rise and become more volatile, it's now 3 to 6 times more affordable to drive an electric car in the US. Gas prices in the US have increased to an average of about $4.20 per gallon, with many areas reporting costs over $5 per gallon. In a recent research, the Zero Emission Transportation Association evaluated how this rise is impacting operating costs when compared to electric vehicles. According to their research, depending on the state, the rise in gas prices currently makes electric vehicles between 3 and 6 times more affordable than gas-powered automobiles. So, what are you waiting for? Get an EV. Next, in other related news, Toyota to recycle car batteries. Toyota's collaborating with Redwood Materials, a battery recycling business run by J.B. Straubel, a co-founder of Tesla, to gather and recycle auto batteries. The idea is to either refurbish or disassemble old worn-out batteries, so the components can be used to make new batteries. Redwood intends to produce materials specifically for for cathodes and anodes, the two main parts of a battery cell. The company's ultimate objective is to establish a closed-loop supply chain for electric vehicles, in which used EV batteries are recycled to make new batteries for automobiles. According to the company's statement on Tuesday, it receives about 6 gigawatt-hours worth of batteries annually for recycling. By 2025 and 2030, it wants to be producing 100 gigawatt-hours worth of components. To put it simply, those ambitions appear ambitious. However, there are numerous incentives, as Bloomberg notes. Making EV batteries is quite expensive, and some businesses are finding it difficult to do so on a large scale, which limits their ability to produce EVs. There is significant motivation for manufacturers to hunt out and support recycling operations, because it doesn't appear like the process will get any less expensive anytime soon. And now, one charger for all? Aptera wants to use Tesla's charging connector for its future solar car and feels like the whole US EV sector should do the same. Tesla created its own charging standard because there wasn't one at the time it started producing electric vehicles. Since then, a lot has changed, and CCS is now the accepted practice worldwide. Although CCS has now been adopted on a global scale, Aptera doesn't think that it makes it the greatest charging standard available. A very effective three-wheeled electric vehicle is being built by Aptera using solar and battery power. This vehicle is incredibly light, having only 3 wheels and a drag coefficient of 0.13, and it claims to have a range of up to 1,000 miles. Anthony asserts that the Tesla connector is considerably simpler to work with and that it's compatible with all charging levels. The co-CEO claimed that the Tesla connector should be adopted by the whole US market and made it clear that the business intends to use its investor and reservation holder bases to attempt to make that happen. By the end of the year, Aptera hopes to deliver its first automobiles, which now have over 25,000 reservation holders. Up next, Texas supports EVs. With dozens of new stations to facilitate easier long-distance travel, Texas plans to build enough electric vehicle charging stations across the state to support 1 million electric vehicles. The Texas Department of Transportation outlined a 5-year plan to establish a network of chargers throughout the state, starting along major thoroughfares and interstate highways, before building stations in rural regions in a draft plan issued this month. Along with the majority of interstates used for non-business purposes, charging stations will be spaced out every 50 miles. According to the plan, there'll be charging stations within 70 miles of the majority of other state locations. Every station is made to have numerous stalls, so whenever someone stops to charge, there will probably be one available. The chargers will have a high output of 150 kilowatts and be able to charge most electric vehicles from 0 to 80% in around 30 minutes. And finally, the Tesla cut-down continues. Tesla plans to cut its paid employees by 10% over the next 3 months, according to Elon Musk's announcement on Tuesday. The world's richest man announced that the electric car manufacturer will reduce payments by 10% over the next 3 months as it navigates the macroeconomic conditions around the world while speaking at the Qatar Economic Forum, which was organized by Bloomberg. This would lead to a 3.5% overall staff reduction at Tesla. Over 100,000 people are employed by Tesla across various locations, and the company's headcount increased by more than 40% last year. It began another round of layoffs last week, this time affecting hourly workers as well as salaried ones. According to reports, the layoffs started with the company's North American sales and delivery staff. The layoffs occur as Tesla is dealing with a challenging end-of-quarter delivery wave that Musk himself warned staff would be nutty. That's a wrap for this video. Do you see electric cars becoming more affordable? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.